Alright, man, welcome back to another Her Nature reaction. It's been a long 5 days, but like always, we're back, man. I'm really trying to stick to this, video every week. We start on a Monday, right? To at least drop one video every week, man, but who knows? We'll see how long that fucking lasts. Anyways, though, today we got, the new Her Nature, well, I guess not new, I'm 3 months late, but, animal facts we should have left in 2024. Damn, it's May 2025, we're in the middle of... Alright, I'm a little late. Alright, whatever, man. Let's not waste any more time, though. It just gets right into this one, man.
I've apparently learned how...
Also, make sure you got something to smoke, something to drink. Make sure you at least got, like, a soda pop or maybe some water. Maybe sipping on some water. Something to be relaxing, man. This is time to be relaxing.
How to pretend to be drowning to lure humans in who they view as prey.
Cap.
I'm gonna call this Animal Facts We Should Have Left in 2024, because after this, I will not be speaking on this anymore. So this video went viral for...
Is that motherfucker dying?
I really thought
he's
it
gotta
was a
be
joke.
dying, right?
Comments and the sheer volume of people that tagged me, I guess not. So yeah, it's not, they're not pretending to drown. But the truth might actually be worse. You see these tiny dots, these pits on the crocodile? Well,
yeah.
they're pressure sensors, and the microdose trypophobia means a prehistoric sawtooth sledgehammer can detect the smallest vibrations in the water.
Oh, I saw this. This is the one where, like, the engines go by and it fucks up their dots on their face. And then now they're like... They're, like, lost.
Butterfly can go skinny dipping, and the oversized assault gecko can...
Oh!
Location.
I don't fuck with crocs or gators, chat. If you live in Florida or Australia or any place that has these fucking dinosaurs, salute to you, man. I could never. I could fucking never.
In fact, it's scientifically proven. You could blindfold a crocodile in a sensory deprivation tank and drip a leaky faucet's worth of water. They'll know exactly where it's coming from. Their jaws are more sensitive than fingertips, and it's why you can get away with this until a drop of sweat hits their mouth and you get your melon split like Fruit Ninja. It's also why if you see this, be wary. That's a pre-typed obituary. In especially murky water, a crocodile will basically T-pose with a side of spear to maximize their sensitivity to any disturbance.
That's funny as hell.
Fish in its hitbox gets filleted. So yeah, you got a plus-size sentient snare trap beast breathing like a nosegay, but this armored demon's the only one slain.
So if you ever see that, so if you ever see him like airplaning, I'm gonna call it airplaning. If you ever see him like airplaning, just know.
Croc caught a body and just won't let go. Or he could just be dead, but definitely not pretending to drown. I mean, that would imply that someone witnessed the same living plot armor that disregarded 2 extinctions in water and tried to be a hero, and apparently did it enough times for the crocs to catch on. And it's not like crocs are stupid.
Yeah, hell no.
Crocodiles have been recorded using twigs and sticks to bait nest-building birds like egrets into getting close enough to get fouled. Some Cuban crocs have been trained to respond to commands and even come running when called by name. Oh yeah, they can run.
Yo. Hell no, bruh. A running croc, bro? You got me fucked up.
Some Cuban crocs have been trained to respond to commands and even come running when called by name. Oh yeah, they can run, by the way. Crocodiles have also been known to work as a team, where a researcher witnessed one scare a pig into...
Oh, dude, see, I know about this whole teamwork. When I was playing, what's the dinosaur game? The Isle. When I was playing the Isle, bruh, the crocs always worked in twos. There'd be one over here, and he'd get him. You'd be like, okay, cool. He's got him. I don't got to worry about it. And then the second homie would pop out of nowhere and get your ass.
Lagoon,
they always worked in twos, chat.
Hell, they even warn you in Australia to never camp or get water from the same place more than twice, because a croc will really recognize the pattern, memorize your routine, and then be right there to cancel your life subscription the next time. So yeah, for a brain, the pattern.
Fuck that!
Memorize your routine and then be right there to cancel your life subscription the next time. So yeah, for a brain in the weight class of a walnut, crocs aren't dumb, but sympathy baiting, that's a Bikram yoga shit.
Nice one, bro. A little late.
Most was just how many
he got pissed.
Reposted that video repeating it. Like, they really have people out here thinking reptiles unlock the power of manipulation. Now, to be fair,
true.
That might seem obvious to you, but to someone who doesn't yap about animals for a living, or, you know, watch them, seeing it in an article could be all it takes, and like a verbal virus, it doesn't take much for it to spread. So, for the sake of my mental health, I'm working with ground news.
Ground?
Because if I have to argue with one more comment, I'm gonna lose something. My mind, my fans, my
What's
freedom.
ground news? He's about to explain it, right?
Is an app and website made by a former NASA engineer.
Hashtag ad.
With the way information can be used as a weapon.
Bro, he's using the Mr. Beast ad like method where he run an ad, but it's part of the video.
How news outlets often feed on folks' biases. Pisces? And the thing is, if you think you can't be swayed by bias, then you're exactly the type of person to fall for it. Ground News counters that by gathering all the world's news in one place so you can compare coverage. No tunnel vision here. You get to see the entire picture and actually be informed. Like with the crocodile story. Here you can see it was covered by a modest 13 sources, and in terms of bias towards one side, there isn't really a whole lot to go off of. But here you can see none of the sources were marked as highly factual. In fact, the majority were quite the opposite. So you see, it's a quick way to know what's what.
Look at him hiding, bruh.
Backwards baseball cap tell it to you. Another recent major event was LA's wildfires, and with Ground News, you can see it was reported by 214 sources, and in terms of bias, it broke pretty much even down the middle. But with bias comparison, you can see that left-leaning literature focused on it being possibly the most costly natural disaster in U.S. history, and right headlines, they focus more on the long-term ramifications for people and...
Well, yeah, but I don't want to get too political on here, but when fires burn through multi-million-dollar homes and neighborhoods of it, the bill seems to stack up pretty high. All right, the bill gets pretty pricey pretty quick.
Businesses and what it could mean for different sides of the socioeconomic spectrum. And with the blind spot feature, you can see news that one side may not have reported at all.
I like how we
As
just
it
went
runs
like.
online. It's a pretty cool tool for me to have, and if you're watching this, you probably are too. So if you use my link, you'll get 40% off the same top
Nice.
$5 a month Vantage plan.
Go do that if you want,
Make
chat.
Sure you go to groundnews.com/casual. Not pretending to drown. They're smart. They're not that smart. Like
Yeah.
I said, these stories only get airtime when people think a wild predator has the same thought process as a person. That's exactly how you get this. You know, to this day, I don't know where this came from. We're talking about otters. They're not exactly the emblem of empathy. Male sea otters will literally kidnap a
We watched the otter video. Otters are fucking ruthless.
pup while their mom's out hunting. And
They're
waiting
ruthless.
until she gives up the groceries. Otters don't mercy farm. If nature's taught us anything, it's that a felony ferret's more likely to throw its child into the abyss.
Felony
than ever
ferret.
Try something
A
like
felony ferret.
this. I mean, just imagine a sea otter trying to emotionally guilt trip a giant apex dolphin. That's another thing. Everyone calls them killer whales, but orcas are bully dolphins on steroids.
Bah!
His original handle was whale killer. Yeah, you probably heard me say this many times. Well, I was wrong, technically. Let me explain. But it will get complicated, so I'm gonna need you to lock in.
Alright,
After
alright.
This ad,
We'll fucking lock in.
let me explain. But
We'll
it
lock
will get
in.
complicated, so I'm gonna need you to lock in.
Okay.
After this ad, of course.
Hashtag
So
ad.
cetaceans are basically mammals that stole the fish's entire flow, not from fusing or merging, but from the evolution that's converging. There's two types of cetaceans: baleen whales, you know, the toothbrush bristles for teeth type,
Yeah.
and toothed whales,
Okay.
for obvious reasons. Okay, now here's where it gets complicated.
Okay.
The toothed whale family reunion is
Let's look at this tree. Tooth whales. Ba. 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 K.
massive. You got everything from your flipper paralysis demon, the false killer whale, to the virtually extinct vaquita. There's 10 families of toothed whales, and within these 10, there's a super family with 6 of them called Delphinoidea. Superfamily Delphinoidea is where you have your oceanic dolphins, porpoises, along with narwhals and belugas, because they're related for some reason.
Okay.
So the narluga. Also, notice I said
Narluga?
oceanic dolphins. The dolphins that live in rivers are in a completely different party. But anyways,
Wait. There's dolphins that live in rivers? There's freshwater dolphins? Is that what he just said?
notice I said oceanic dolphins. The dolphins that live in rivers are in a completely different party. But anyway, superfamily Delphinoidea is where you find the dolphins that, let's be real, are the ones you think of when you hear the word dolphin.
Okay.
The biggest type of ocean dolphin is the one that can slapbox a seal into orbit.
Yep.
So to recap,
Just
any mammal that
yeets
looks like
'em.
this is a cetacean. Every
Okay.
cetacean with teeth is a toothed whale. A dolphin
Okay.
in the ocean is a toothed whale in the Delphinoidea family. And the
Okay.
biggest member of Delphinoidea
It's the
is an
orca. Yep.
So long story short,
'Kay,
killer
we're there.
whales are dolphins. Every dolphin is a toothed whale, but not every toothed whale is a dolphin. But every toothed whale is a cetacean. It's kind of like how every tortoise is a turtle, but not every turtle is a tortoise. So to answer, are orcas whales or dolphins? Yes, they are.
It makes sense though, right? Because like the tree, it's like boom and then boom. It's like this thing is obviously this thing because this thing originates from this thing, but this thing is not this thing because this thing is before this thing. You feel?
By the way, let me know if you want a full video on that, because that was probably mad confusing. Because being an animal nerd long enough is realizing names really don't mean a thing. Except here, Black Panther is not an animal. You might be tired of hearing it. Well, I'm tired of saying it. And when I say not an animal,
full
I mean,
switch.
if you go to a zoo and try to find the exhibit that says Black Panther, you won't find it.
Yep.
It's not even a name more than a description. It's a panther that's black.
Yep.
And remember, panther is just any cat in the Panthera genus. So any lion, tiger, jaguar, leopard, or snow leopard in black could be a black panther. But because the mutation that causes it is dominant in jaguars but recessive in leopards, most black panthers are just jaguars with 10% tint. But Black Panther itself isn't an actual animal. That'd be like if we called every black
We've been knowing
wolf
this, chat.
coyote a black canine, but then acted like black canine was its own thing. It's not real. And you know what else? Alpha wolves are not real, I swear to God. Actually, they are.
Alpha
They are real,
wolves?
but only when you put a bunch of wolves that don't know each other in a zoo and they have to figure out stuff on their own. That's actually what happened. In the 1930s, Rudolf Schenkel studied wolves in a zoo, and after watching more fights in phase in a telenovela, he just figured that wolves determine group politics by tearing each other apart. Biologist David Mech built off his work and came up with the term alpha wolf. What they didn't realize was that the wolves were fighting over resources, not rank, and by putting a bunch of randoms in one place, they basically real house wolves of Switzerland. In real life, a wolf pack is usually just two parents and a bunch of their kids.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I was about to say that, right? And then it just... Wait, but what happens when... Alright, I'm sure he's going to explain it, but what happens when the parents die? Who becomes the new king of the pack?
The real house wolves of Switzerland.
The new
In
king
real
of
life,
the
a
pack.
wolf pack
Yo,
is
by the way, hey chat, if you made it this far, we're 11 minutes in. Type backwards down below. You're a G. You're a G if you're still watching this far. Appreciate you.
usually just two parents and a bunch of their kids. What folks kept calling the alpha wolf whole time was just their father. Now, because I've done this before, I know someone's gonna comment, well, if they're the lead wolf, they're still the alpha. The problem is, the whole alpha thing implies that the lead wolves got there by beating the others like a Cherokee drum. Really, it's just
Very
security.
true.
Also, another thing I never thought about until right now is once the kids get to about 1 or 2 years old, they dip and try to form their own pack.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking. That's what I was just asking about. So, okay, so that the original pack just dies off, or is it like is it like where all the family members kind of eventually splitting off and then that pack dies and new packs rise? Type vibe, type beat?
The zoo, you often get the same adult wolves around each other constantly, and like any reality show, eventually that leads to tension that wouldn't be there in a normal pack. So normally, you wouldn't see any alpha wolves in the wild, and the same guy that came up with that would spend the rest of his career trying to take it back. And just as a final middle finger to anyone that still wants to argue, when the term alpha male was first used academically in 1921, it was by zoologist Thorleif Sheldrup Ebbe, and he was referring to, I'm not even kidding, he was talking about the hierarchy where lower status poultry will get pecked on by higher ranks. That's literally where pecking order came from. So the next time a man tries you with that alpha male just know he's taking cues from a temperamental chicken nugget. Also, chickens are confirmed psychopaths. If one chicken starts bleeding, the whole flock will jump in and peck it to death. I think the worst thing is
fucking
people took
crazy,
the
bro.
alpha dog thing and got convinced that's how you make your actual dog respect you.
Chickens are so ruthless, dude.
Caesar Milan has done an absolute masterclass of misinformation on the dog community. You really got folks thinking you gotta flex on an 80-pound pit bull to keep him in line. Imagine trying to play alpha with Cujo on creatine. We've gotten a lot wrong about dogs, and probably the worst thing,
Dude, I love the
tail wagging
switch.
means happy. That fact alone has probably gotten more people bit than anything. Basically, a tail wag means excitement. Excitement can mean seeing their person come home, or it can mean fear, anxiety, or the last warning before they put a canine-sized hole in your hand. And the faster the tail, the more excited Fido is. The question is, what kind? Well, science says
True.
the right means the vibes are good, but a tail leaning left could mean stress, so best to be left. Alone, that is a lot more complicated than I just made it sound, but long story short, a tail wag is like a smile. A smile can mean someone's happy to see you, or might even think you're cute, or that waitress is just doing her job and doesn't want to get hit on at work.
True.
If you expect your dog to learn how to parlay.
Long story short, chat, don't hit on every waitress you see when she smiles at you. She not really trying to fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
She's just doing her job and doesn't want to get hit on at work.
Real and true,
if you
chat.
expect your dog to learn how to parlay people, then the least you can do is talk tail. Oh, another dog thing that's been bothering me for years is that Chihuahuas are the spawn of Shaitan. Now, I get the little dog thing. I've been personally victimized by many an ankle biter. But with dogs, there's usually a why. You just gotta look deep enough. Huskies are known for being donkey stubborn toddlers on 4.
Come inside.
But Huskies were also bred as sled dogs.
True.
Not only do they have to be independent and make
They're
decisions
G's.
in work environment, sometimes they'd have to be willing to go against orders if those orders
The
went against their
change.
better judgment. It's actually called intelligent disobedience, and for football fans, it's basically an audible. It's pretty important because, you know, if Russell Wilson had it, maybe he would have ran the ball. Beagles are basically walking instruments.
Are you a Seahawks fan? Because if you're not a fucking Seahawks fan, that's disrespectful, bro. So just throw that in there. Alright? You don't gotta make me relive that bullshit again. It's kind of fucked up, dude. A little bit. Like, let's be honest here. You don't gotta... Dude, alright. That's crazy that he just threw that in there. That's... You better be a Seahawks fan. That's the only way I'm letting that slide. You better be a fucking Hawks fan. If you're not a Seahawks fan, I swear to God, bro, it's on site. You know, fucking, dude, that's crazy disrespect. I know we suck, and I know we're idiots, and jeez, I can't even defend it.
Because, you know, if Russell Wilson had it, maybe he would have ran the ball.
God
Eagles
damn
are
it,
basically
man.
walking
Oh.
instruments, but they were bred to hunt rabbits.
Better be a Hawks fan,
that
bro.
Same vein, keeping you up at 2 a.m. Here's how they communicate with hunters. So why are chihuahuas like that? Yeah, 2 a.m.
Yo, hold up, we gotta send him. Look at him run, skedaddled.
You know, I don't even think it's a chihuahua thing, more than a little dog thing. But I have my theories. A lot of times, chihuahuas don't get socialized with other dogs early on. So the first time they see a big dog, which, like, any dog to them is a big dog,
Yeah.
it probably scares the daylights out of them. Also, I think a bigger thing is owners be letting a lot of bad habits slide just because they're travel size. So eventually it escalates. Let it be a Doberman and suddenly they'll know discipline. Actually, that's my biggest thing. A lot of owners won't correct bad behavior when it comes from a Chihuahua. In fact, I've seen a lot of y'all encourage it. I've always said if a Rottweiler acted like a Chihuahua for a day, he'd be dead by dinner. Also,
It's
although
very
it looks
true,
like
dude.
aggression, might just be fear.
Dude, we got a lot of little dogs. I grew up with a lot of little dogs at my grandparents' house. These fuckers are actually either really chill and really cool or the meanest fucking little bitches.
A Chihuahua for a day, he'd be dead by dinner. Also, often what looks like aggression might just be fear. And if your dog tells you he's afraid and you don't listen because you think it's cute, but that's how you end up with a dog version of David. Size might be part of it too, but it probably has less to do with it than people think. Long story short, if I see a kid wilding in Walmart, I'm gonna look at the parents, and likewise,
True.
I'm gonna blame the dog owner before I blame the dog.
Yes,
No
very
clever
true.
transition, but another thing I've heard is that male lions don't hunt, or better yet, that male lions are lazy. And I can tell you exactly where it came from. You see, lionesses use the power of friendship to run down prey in open areas. It's pretty hard to miss. Lions
Yeah, but
are-
doesn't the big, like, I could be wrong about this, but doesn't, like, the big guy come in to make, like, the final, you know, like the final
bigger,
stop or no?
bulkier, and with a whole afro equipped, they had to switch up the playbook. So instead, male lions ambush prey by camping out in dense brush. Research shows that male lions
Damn,
attack
look
the
at
prey
that
as frequently
G
as females.
shit.
It's just that in the olden days, you probably never see it. Also, before male lions even get a pride, they're in their nomad arc.
Yo, we gotta go back. This is
Research
G
the
shit,
playbook.
bro.
So instead, male
And this is like worst case scenario, bruh. Worst case scenario, homie. You got two of them jumping out the cut on you. Oh, you're fucked.
lions ambush.
Look, even the birds dipped. Chat. Even the birds dip. Watch the birds dip from his back.
The whole afro equipped, they had to switch up the playbook. So instead, male lions ambush prey by camping out in dense brush. Research shows that male lions pack up prey as frequently as females. It's just that
Look
in
at the
olden
brothers,
days, you
dude.
Probably never see it. Also, before male lions even get a pride, they're in their nomad arc. Oh, they be lying on the ground permanently if they didn't hunt. Now, to be fair, male lions do stop hunting as much when they're in a pride, but not completely.
Yeah,
They'll
'cause
often
they're
get
the
involved to
Gs.
bring down bigger,
Yes, at the
like
end.
buffalo that
Yes.
lionesses might struggle with. Basically, the
I was
lioness
correct
runs
about
them
this.
down, and the main mercenary delivers the final blow.
I was
Now, they will
correct.
only get involved
I
in
thought so,
10%
man.
At a time, but it's not because they're lazy. They just have a different job description. Male lions patrol the pride lands, mark their territory, and as you know, they gotta run the ones with any outsider trying
Yeah,
to
they
take
gotta
them.
run the
You
fades,
might
dude.
not realize it,
Woo!
that hunting lionesses are. In some studies, they got up to half their kills stolen by hyenas or even other males. Having a nearly 500-pound equalizer on their side helps them keep what they catch. It's not lazy. It's just that lions and lionesses help cover each other's weaknesses perfectly, and clearly it works. They're the most notorious
Fuck yeah.
and feared pack predators in Africa, or maybe second.
They're the
There's
badass.
one predator
The
that animals
badasses.
fear even more than Mufasa and friends, and you'll never get it. It's us. It's us.
It's
You
us.
might remember that an experiment showed
Humans.
that almost every animal from giraffes to antelope to even leopards and hyenas were unanimously more afraid of the sound of humans than the cadence of a giant carnivorous cat, which is how.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
The
They all take off. They all are like, fuck this. They know, dude.
Because not only did I find out where it came from, I think I was wrong, kind of, technically. Let me explain. So, in 2017, college student Julia Haas posted a tweet saying elephants basically see us the same way we see puppies. Now, ignoring the part of the population that's terrified of dogs, the fact loses steam when you realize she got it from Tumblr. It's more likely that one of the smartest creatures alive see us as predators, but not their babies. Remember, it's proven that baby elephants that play the most grow up into more well-adjusted adults. It's why you'll see a baby-faced boulder chase around birds, dogs, and anything in between. So here's what I think
They're
happened.
blowing off that
Baby
steam. They're
elephants treat
chilling.
humans like any other animal. Difference is, humans might be the only animal that'll see an 1,800-pound toddler barreling towards them and welcome it. In fact, the premature pachyderms probably realized that a hairless bipedal ape gives them the best response. So it's not really that.
Yo, a massive elephant just dogging me like that is like, it's not a massive elephant, obviously. It's a baby elephant, but this motherfucker is massive. I mean, he's got to be. How big are baby elephants, bro? A couple 100 pounds? Like,
Pachyderms probably realize that a hairless bipedal ape gives them the best response. So it's not really that elephants think we're cute, it's that baby elephants think everything's cute, us included. And I'd bet that's where all the videos of 1-ton 2-year-olds manhandling people came from. And I wouldn't even believe that if I didn't nearly become one of them. Yeah, I went all the way to Chiang Mai to get bullied by an elephant's child. And I do it again. I actually made a video where I talk about it, along with why playing with one could be a bad time for literally everyone involved. You might not have seen it because apparently the YouTube lords did not care for that video.
oh, this is the video, dude. I was gonna watch this one. We were gonna watch this one, chat, but I decided the animal facts. All right, we'll watch this one. This one will be one in the future.
Probably because
we'll do that one in the future.
Certain topics.
Oh.
If you know, you
okay.
know. But if you don't, definitely give it a watch.
We're still gonna watch it
after I post, but I'm proud of that one. But that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother,
drink
touch
water,
grass.
chat.
It's good for you. And I'm gonna
drink
see
some
y'all
water.
well, I hopefully in this one, but if not, I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Yeah, you'll catch me in this one and the next one. Oh, no final little cuts video. Oh, dude, what a good fucking video, like always, man. Oh, Hood Nature's such a vibe. Oh, it's such a good time. Yo, hey, if you're not subbed to Hood Nature, what are you doing? Stupid. You're stupid. Go do that right now. You probably are, though. Yeah, man. I'll catch you next time, chat. I'll catch you later. Deuces, man. Deuces.